Mitt Romney has released his taxes, kind of. He released his projection for 2011, which is really convenient because he hasn't filed it yet. So he says, oh, yeah. He spins it in the best possible direction for him. And it's still barely above 15% that he's paying in taxes. And he's releasing 2010 taxes, which at a time that he obviously knew that he was running for president. But even those numbers are not very pretty for him when you see where his money is, how little he pays, etc. Of course, if he released like his dad did the last 12 years, you would see all the different ways that he hides his money, gives to the Mormon church, pays a tiny percentage of his taxes. But let's take what he's already given us and look at those numbers. Number one, how much is he projected to pay in 2011? Well, that is $20.9 million. In 2010, he actually paid made $21.7 million. So that's just income when he's not even working. So he's got at least $250 million in investments, but as we see in his tax returns, he might have another extra up to $101 million in some sort of retirement fund. How would you like your extra retirement fund to be over $100 million? And his wife has another $10 million in another blind trust. But anyway, just on investment income, like he's got so much money that once he invests it, he gets back over $20 million a year without having to lift a finger. That's how rich Mitt Romney is. But there's nothing wrong with being rich. Now let's look at the amount of taxes he paid, which compared to those numbers is not very high. In 2010 and 2011 combined, he paid $6.2 million in taxes. Here's what's interesting, though. He gave more to charity in those years than he paid to the U.S. government. In fact, he gave $7 million to charity, but it's not just any old charity. 4.1 million of that went to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's, of course, the Mormon Church. Now, that is including the 2011 projections, which he gets to, doctor in any way that he likes. When you look at the 2010 numbers, he actually paid more to the Mormon Church than he did to the U.S. government, 3.1 million to 3 million. So that's one of the things he didn't want you to know. How little he gives the U.S. taxpayers, even though he's earned all of his benefits here in the United States because of the system that we have all set up together, whether it's the roads that, lead to the factories that he bought, whether it's the Social Security and Medicare that takes care of the workers in their old age after Mitt Romney and Bain Capital is done with them, et cetera. All those advantages. And he gives a tiny bit back to the U.S. government, but he gives even more to the Mormon Church, which, of course, is what his faith demands of him. But it's interesting that he serves the church, at least financially, more than he serves the U.S. government. And then you look at his effective tax rate in 2010, and it's not even 15%, 13.9%. That is much less than the average guy. In fact, we've told you this before. If you're an individual and you're at $36,000, every dollar from there on gets charged at 25%. This guy's making over $20 million, and he's only paying a little over 13%. If you make $36,000, you're going to be paying 25%. Where's the goddamn justice in that? There's no justice. It's because the rich have bought our government. Now, Mitt Romney is going to spend some of that wealth to buy the government even more so that he can cut out the middleman. Instead of just buying the politicians, he becomes the politician, and he says, oh, yeah, here's my tax plan, which, by the way, he's already announced. 50% of the benefits of Mitt Romney's tax plan go to millionaires alone. Not the top 1%, to millionaires. By the way, Mitt Romney is not in the top 1%. He's in the top 0.06%. So he's even richer than the average guy in the top 0.1%. Okay? Again, nothing wrong with being rich. If you're not hiding your money and you're paying your fair share, you're at least paying as much as a guy making $36,000 a year, which he's nowhere near. He's about half of what the guy is paying at $36,000 a year. Because that guy had to bust his ass to actually earn a wage. Whereas Mitt Romney pressed a couple of buttons and goes, okay, invest my money here. Oh, look at that. And I pay less than you. Ha ha. Now, how's one of the ways that he has avoided taxes? Through tax shelters. Get a load of, and remember, this is stuff he knew that he might be releasing. What if we saw the things that he has not released? But even in the 2010 numbers, he's got money in a Swiss bank account that can't be traced. He's got money in notorious tax shelters like Luxembourg, Ireland, and the Cayman Islands. So he has hidden his money in 18 different ways. When asked about it, his spokesperson goes, no, what? Everything was legal. Everything was legal. We could have brought it to the Cayman Islands. We brought it to the Cayman Islands. So what? It's legal. It's legal. I could do it. Yeah, it's legal because you earlier bought politicians that allowed you to have loopholes where you could hide your money in the Cayman Islands. Can you hide your money in the Cayman Islands? If you're a plumber or a dentist, really? No, because you can't hire the lawyers, the tax accountants, et cetera, to be able to shelter your money that way. Meanwhile, Mitt Romney does it all the time. The only reason we might know about the Swiss bank account is because at some point our government said, hey, you know what? We know that you're all hiding money there. It's not a tax shelter. It's not legal. It's tax evasion. But we'll let you bring it back now and not charge you the penalties for it if you bring it back now. So we don't know yet if Mitt Romney was one of those people. But given what's been released here, it looks like Mitt Romney did have money in a Swiss bank account and just happened to return it at the same time that the government gave immunity. They're not paying their fair share. It's not even close.